Do you suffer from unwanted string noise? Sounds a little bit like one of those Dr. TV commercials, doesn't it? Sorry about that. Being a little out there in left field today for some reason. But actually, and all kidding aside, this is a question I get a lot. I get unwanted string noise. How do I eliminate the unwanted string noise? And I'm going to try to show you that here today. And there are two areas in particular where people talk about unwanted string noise. One is playing a scale. So let's say I'm playing, my good old pentatonic scale here. Now, you can hear there's all that, the other strings rumbling, right? If I touch the strings, you can hear that it goes away. Again, there it is, for demonstration purposes. You typically hear this more when you're playing with a lot of distortion, even though it's still there, even if you're playing with a clean sound, or even on the acoustic guitar. So, how do you eliminate that unwanted sound, that noise, that stuff right there? And I can only show you how I do it. Other people may have a solution for it, but here's what I do. I use, again, this, turn my hand this way, try to get it in the screen for you. It's this fleshy pad of my thumb right here that I use to get rid of the unwanted string noise. So as I'm playing the scale across, as I'm moving up here to the fifth string, even though you can't really see it, if I roll my hand up here, you can, but you can see that that pad of my thumb, see how it's touching the sixth string right there? Well, it's actually doing that while I'm playing the fifth string. So again, it's hiding behind my hand, and I don't know if I can even really ever get a camera in there to see it. This is the best way that I can think of to demonstrate it for you. But as you can see, as I roll my hand down, see that part of my thumb right there? It's actually not part of my thumb, I guess more of the hand, but it's that fleshy pad part again of the thumb right in this area here. That touches the string. And as I move across the strings, notice how the palm of my hand or my whole hand sort of keeps moving across. So now, again, I roll this up, you can see that part of my hand was actually all the way up there. As I roll it back down there, it's the third string. If I let it roll on over, it's actually touching the second string. And that part of my hand always touches the guitar when I'm playing up and down scales. Now, the other part is left hand up here. My first finger is really touching all the strings up here. And that eliminates some of the noise from the upper strings. And when I'm coming back down the scale, it's purely a left hand thing here that eliminates the noise. It's all index finger on my left hand. So I don't have to try to over-exaggerate and just fit my fingers in on the fingertip like this, and now I've got this big space here. See, my finger is laying pretty flat that whole time, my index finger. So I've always got something in contact with the strings. That's what eliminates all the unwanted noise. So again, when it's going up the scale, it's the fleshy part of my thumb. And when I'm coming down the scale, I still have that fleshy part of my thumb touching the strings, but more of the muting now falls on the index finger of my left hand. Now, let me reset this camera and we'll talk about the other area of unwanted noise, which is in bending. So I'll get this set up and I'll be back with a demo of that in just a second. Now, I mentioned a moment ago that bending also creates a problem. And what happens, I'll do a bend here for you. The fingers can end up under the strings like that, and then you come off and you get that noise like that. Even if they don't end up under the strings, even just the act of bending, just by coming off the bend, you can get some of that unwanted string noise in there. Now again, I combat this two different ways. One of them is that I'm still using that fleshy the pad of my thumb. I've taken the camera off my right hand, but it's still the same principle. My thumb is laying on the string, and it's is blocking off the other strings. That's what's creating the muting there, so that I don't get the unwanted string noise. Now, another thing that I will do, depending on what finger I'm bending with, which is most often probably my third finger with the second finger behind it, so I'm bending with two fingers like that. But I will use my index finger now on my fretting hand, and you can see that here on the video up close. Notice where my first finger ends up. It ends up laying across the other strings up here. And there you can see it again, how I just let it sort of pop up there. And that then again is acting as a mute to block out the unwanted noise. So there you have it, the two ways to block out unwanted noise, and basically it's the same technique for me whether I'm playing a scale or I'm bending. It's either the pad of my thumb or the index finger on my fretting hand. Hope you find that useful, and it might feel a little uncomfortable if you're not used to doing those things, but give it a try and let me know how it works out. And if there's still a problem, then we'll see if we can come up with another solution. But that's what works for me. Hopefully that'll work for you, and I'll see you in the next lesson.